Guys, we're here with Ferrets, and hopefully this video goes up because Battlefield Labs decided to copyright strike my channel. How are you, Ferrets?
Wondering if I'm gonna get sued or not.
Well, technically, no. They're more likely to sue me than you. It's all fun and games until someone gets sued. Alright, so let's jump into it and let's see if we can get some more trouble. Ubisoft is ready to sue players for harassing Assassin's Creed Shadow developers. So reportedly, by the way, this is done by 80 level, or level 80. Is it level 80 or 80 level? 80 level. The Assassin's Creed studio, undoubtedly one of the most divisive and controversial video games in recent years, is set to launch in just 3 days. The entire...
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're ready for it. Don't you worry, we've got the fireworks all ready to go. I got party poppers. By the way, I actually do have party poppers. Both, and the entire internet, both those looking forward to the game and those that are critical of what they've seen so far, is buzzing with anticipation. Party poppers! So the game's developer, Ubisoft, whose disastrous 2024 is widely regarded as the worst year in history, and whose future might depend on the success of the new Assassin's Creed installment. Good luck. Is also gearing up for the release, reportedly enlisting in a special team to shield Shadow's developers from an imminent wave of criticisms by any means necessary, including taking legal action. In an interview with
That sounds familiar.
yeah. In an interview with the French media outlet BFM TV, a Ubisoft employee whose identity remains undisclosed revealed that the company is an anti-online harassment plan prepared to work for Shadow's release. Basically meaning they're going to copyright strike anybody whose channel basically is critical of the game. Reportedly, the company has this dedicated team on standby, monitoring networks such as Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit, and is ready to act in case of a targeted attack, offering psychological and legal support to employees who may be targeted. Well, no one should be actually going through and targeting employees. So, at the end of the day, yeah, by guys, all means, criticise the game, but don't attack the devs because they're just doing their work. They're just doing what the shrubs up at the CEO and whatnot are telling them to do. Apparently Ubisoft is so concerned about a backlash that it's even advised developers not to post social media that they worked on Ubisoft to avoid harassment. And by the way, this is a straw man argument because I have not seen anybody personally that has gone after a dev for any of the work that they've had. In fact, one of the YouTubers actually spoke to one of the devs at Ubisoft and was actually, the dev was treated with respect. So this is a straw man argument, but this is easy for them to go through and try and claim, and then they can go through and they can get people's videos taken down offline because of my harassment. Now, you know, then the age-old case is, oh, okay, well, what exactly proved that we harassed anybody? Generally, they can't. But by this stage, you know, it's 10 days later, and people have gone out and brought the game. And, you know, after 10 days, they'll just turn around and go, oh, sorry, we were wrong, my bad. And then they released a copyright strike. And by the way, everybody who was going to buy the game has already brought it and been very disappointed with it. That's what they do. They go through and they use these copyright strikes to basically stop criticism or shield criticism for the next 5 to 10 days so that they can go through and they can sell their initial copies. And by the stage that we've sorted out these copyright strikes, everybody's already brought the game, right? Because let's face it, most people are going to buy Assassin's Creed. They're going to buy it within the first 10 days. Perhaps the most surprising detail, however, is that employees claim that the lawyers are already prepared to file complaints in the event of confirmed harassment situations, and is often the case with statements like this. The wording raises question about what Ubisoft actually considers harassment. While any reasonable person agrees that threats or violence or similar behaviour are unacceptable, and we totally agree, we should be dealt with accordingly, it's clear that some are worried Ubisoft might also classify harmless online trolling and criticisms of Ubisoft's creed shadows as its creators as harassment and used to lawyers as an intimidation tactic, which, let's face it, they will do, which would be equivalent, equivalently unacceptable. It's important to note that as of now, the existence of this team is based solely on a single anonymous source and has not yet been confirmed or denied by Ubisoft. So, what are the thoughts on Ubisoft's new harassment online? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so basically what we do is, I'll go through and I'll explain this in paint. Right, so what we have here is we'll have a timeline. Right, and we'll put here is the, oops. So this here is the launch. Right, and then over here is, well, like, for example, like, no more sales. We'll say, like, slowing sales. Right? So you got the launch and then you got slowing sales. And we'll go through and about here. Actually, we'll go through it about here. Now, from here, from the launch to the like that. So from here to here is most of the sales. So during this period here, right, is where they get most of their sales. It's in the first, say, 10 days. And what they'll do is they go through and say 10 days after launch. What they'll do is they'll go through at this part here, right at the launch or right before, and they'll do copyright strikes on YouTubers. And then it takes you 10 days for you to submit a claim and for the claimant to then respond. They've got up to 10 days. And during this whole time here, while they're doing their 10-day claim thing, they're getting all the sales. And then 10 days later, it comes back, they realize they have no claim, or they've released the claim.
Just ran out of space, didn't you?
No, I don't know what that noise was. I was updating with updating my my Unreal Engine, so it might have been that. But yeah, they go through and they release the claim, and then after this, they don't care about the sales because, well, it's the bulk of it, right? So this will be like, for example, like 90%, and this part over here would be like 10%. And that's what they do. They go through and they basically copyright strike everybody, all the YouTubers between this part here. And then when it comes up to releasing the claim, it's 10 days after launch. And the only sales that people are affected is here. And, you know, instead of being like the 3 to 5 million sales, you know, it's probably here 10% of, say, so say they sell, say, 5 million copies and divide that by 90%. Sorry about that, guys. My phone was ringing. All right, so basically the only amount of sales that they would actually do around here is around the 55,000 mark. Here they would do around. So what do we say? 5,000 as 5 million. Take that. So here they would sell around the 4,944,444 copies. So that's why I say, like, the whole idea is to go through and to basically copyright strike people's channels from here to here. This is what normally happens, right? From here to here, get those 4.9 million copies, and then not worry about the 55,000 copies that they're not going to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But that's why they're doing it. They know this has no legal meaning. They know this is not going to hold up in court. But what they're doing is they're just trying to buy themselves that 10-day period. So technically it's the abuse of the copyright striking system. But yeah, like at the end of the day, it's just, yeah. And we'll see if that's happened, if that's what's going to happen. My guess is that's what's going to happen. You'll find a lot of big channels are basically going to get hit soon. And some of the small ones, including probably me, will probably get hit. And it will be right before the game comes out. So that they'll be able to go through and basically silence criticism of the game. Apart from that, anything you want to say regarding this whole legal action, Ferrets, with Ubisoft, or
No.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to go around and try and silence people with criticism of the game, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, they're doing it with you.
Well, Battle Labs is, yeah.
So I don't see why not.
Yeah, and that's obviously that's Battlefield is actually EA, so EA are notorious for doing it. This is the same thing that happened when the movies came out or the game that came out. There was a game that came out a year ago or whatever, and the same thing happened. They went through and they basically copyright struck all the YouTubers to so no one could put out criticisms of it. It wasn't Star Wars. I think it was one other game like that, but it was something like that. Geeks and Gamers was hit. Let me see if I can find it. So guys, it was here with The Last of Us Part 2. Because they were going through and they were talking about it. Their YouTube channel was copyright struck. And they lost the ability to live stream for a month. Just because of this simple copyright strike. And all of it was because they were trying to silence people from talking about The Last of Us Part 2. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, they've done this before. It's notorious, but you know, we'll see what happens. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we are anticipating the launch of Assassin's Creed. And look, I'll do this. If it does come out on Xbox Game Pass, I will play it. But on the day of it launch, I'm playing Yusuke Simulator. And by the way, how is Yusuke Simulator going? So guys, as you might be aware, Yusuke Simulator does come out on the same day. It's designed by historically accurate developers. Have we got our rankings? No. Yeah, no, I can't seem to see it. There is a way to find out how the how it's traveling on the Steam list. Upcoming releases, maybe? Wish list. Steam charts here. Release date 16th. It's number 748 in the wish lists. There you go. So now if we look up Assassin's Creed Shadow, it's number 41 in the wish list. So it's still not beating Shadow, which is disappointing, but you know, at the end of the day, it's doing not too bad actually. So we'll be playing this on the day it comes out, and hopefully, who knows? We'll see if it comes out on Xbox Game Pass, because if it doesn't, I might play it after that. But anything you want to add before we go to the next video, Fez? You looking forward to your Seki Simulator or Shadows or? What are you looking forward to most, do you think? No? Fez? Muted yourself again?
Yeah, I muted myself.
Are you going to play your Seki Simulator or Assassin's Creed? What are you playing?
I'm waiting for Assassin's Creed so I can see how bad it's going to be.
And look, here's the thing. I do think the game will still probably sell about 3 million copies. But, you know, the rate that they've been burning through the money and the delays and stuff that they've been putting out now, this game needs to sell between 5 to 10 million copies to be profitable. Or to pull Assassin's Creed, or to pull Ubisoft out of the drink. I don't think it's going to get those numbers. So we'll have to see. But yeah, like on average, you know, like keeping in mind, like some of the previous Assassin's Creed videos that are games that have sold, previous Assassin's Creed sales, like, you know, I think it was like one of the latest ones only sold like 3 million copies. So Assassin's Creed series is the first one was the best-selling franchise. Black Flag sold 15 million copies. Assassin's Creed 3 sold 12 million. Odyssey sold 10. Origins sold 10. Unity sold 10. Creed sold 9. Assassin's Creed sold 8. Brotherhood sold 7.2. And Revelation sold 7. So, you know, like at the end of the day, like, I noticed Valhalla is not there. So it's grossed $1 billion, but it took a year to get there. So interesting enough, Valhalla is not actually, is it mentioned there? No, it's not. So it's sold less than 7 million copies. But Odyssey took over $2 billion in revenue. Sold 1.4 million copies in its first week. So, you know, like I say, like, you know, like, I don't think it's going to do 5. I think it's going to be less than 5 million copies, but we'll have to see. I think I would expect it to do around this sort of numbers, which is probably going to be bad for the studio because it's been delayed and everything by this stage. But we'll have to see. Alright guys, that's what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube and hopefully not get sued.
Right on.